Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. Well, what's going on in the markets? Well, you see, I'm wearing a red shirt. I actually think the market's going to see red this week and next week. We'll see how that plays out. This is only day one of this week. Maybe we're having up day today, but I think you're going to start to see red in the market. I think the market's going to have the pullback, not the big rug pull, nothing serious, just back to the 200-day on the NASDAQ, back to the 200-day on the S&P, maybe overshoot it a little bit before they push it up to new higher highs. Because of course, as soon as you start to see the drop, they're going to start to print the money, right? And if you get a big enough drop, the Fed will come in with the emergency rate cuts. Now look, this is funny to me. Okay, so the chance of a recession has dropped from 66% down to 28%. When we had that pullback, they were calling for a 66% chance of a recession. But now the market's rebounded up and we're only down to 28% chance of a recession. So I think that's good news, right? But I don't look at it that way. The longer the market goes up, the more I get nervous, the more I think the big rug pull's coming. So just because they get confidence because the market's going up, I still think actually we're in a recession. I think they're going to figure that out a little bit later in the year. We'll see how that plays out. But they're trying to print over these recessions. You see, and so far they've technically been able to do that, right? I mean, if you print 6% of the money and 3% GDP goes up by 3%, right? Then you're not in a recession. But if you didn't print the 6%, you'd be down 3%. Then you would be in a recession. So the only thing that's been keeping us out of a recession all these years, and we haven't had a recession, 16 years since the last recession. Okay, so they do it with just the printing of money. But the printing of money is starting not to work. Now, what do I mean by that? Used to be, you go back 16 years ago, we print $1, we could increase the GDP by $3, right? That was really good. So it was cost effective to do the printing. Now we have to print $3 just to get the GDP to go up $1. So really we're going in the hole. Yes, technically they say we're out of a recession, but we're just printing money like a madman trying to stay out of that depression. I used the D word there. We'll soon probably slip into that too. But to stay out of the recession, to print $3 just to get $1 of GDP growth. Now that's, to me, is just not sustainable, if you will. You cannot print your way to prosperity. Now, who pays for it when you print your way? Well, everybody, right? I mean, your dollar goes down. It's just free money, fake money, if you will. They just print and the money value of your purchasing power goes to almost down, 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 right? I mean, if you look back to the start of the Federal Reserve, we've lost 99% of our purchasing power. But today we're going to talk about just since 1971. Now, what happened in 1971? Well, we went off the gold standard, right? It went off the gold standard. Now, everybody thought that this would be a good thing to do because then we could let the government print as much money as they want, spend it any way they want. Of course, they said they'd spend it on us good citizens, but really we did it. We kind of just, the money's just vanished, right? $37 trillion is gone. Now, what have we got for it? Have you noticed better infrastructure? How are the streets in your area? My area, not so good. How's the water system? How are the bridges? Bridges are collapsing in our country. Why? Because they haven't been replaced for 60 years, right? They haven't had the maintenance done on them. Look, this is a problem. We went off the gold standard in 71. Do you realize in 71, the average person, it took 25 hours of work to get one share of the S&P. If you went back to 1971, you worked 25 hours and you could own one share of the stock market, the S&P, right? Okay, how many hours does the average person have to work today to get one share of the S&P? Well, the average person has to work 195 hours. 195 hours today just to get one share of the S&P. one share of the stock, right? Okay, that to me is what the gold coming off the gold standard did. It created us, we put us into slavery, right? We could work 25 hours in 71, or to get the same equivalent today, we have to work almost 200 hours, 195 hours to be exact. That's like 8 times as much. We have to work 8 times as hard just to have the lifestyle we had back then. What happened? They took us off the gold standard, right? Now, eventually we're going to get a reset, and I do believe the reset will be involving gold. I do believe there will be some form of gold in the reset. Now, the first reset, don't trade in your gold for it because it's not going to work, right? That's going to be where they put us on the central bank digital currency. That's what they want to do. They want to get rid of currency, want to get rid of cash, want everything on digits, right? That way they can control our every move. You go to the store, they can tell you how much you can spend there. You go too far from your house, maybe they shut the money off there. They can control your movement when this happens. You want to avoid the central bank digital currency at all costs. But that's going to be the first form of the reset that's coming, right? It's not going to be backed by gold. They're going to just it's going to be the equivalent of a digital dollar, if you will. It's still going to be a fiat currency. Now, don't fall for these stable coins either. Okay, I know a lot of you crypto people, oh, the stable coins are going to save us, right? Because you got to get the stable coin to get the Bitcoin, and then the stable coin has to be backed by something real. And what are they backing them by? Bonds. I don't think bonds are real. They could back it by gold. Actually, Tether has like 50 tons of gold to back their coins, but most of their coins are backed with bonds, right? And that's why our government's going to create their own stable coin, because they need somebody to buy our bonds, because nobody wants to buy them anymore, right? The foreigners used to buy them, but now the foreigners don't buy them anymore because we got the tariffs on the foreigners. We confiscate their money if they hold our bonds. And we're talking about defaulting to the foreigners on the bonds right now. Now, if you're an American holder, you're going to be okay because we're only going to default to the foreigners. Now, why would you buy the bonds if you're a foreigner? Well, you would not. You get out of them as quickly as possible. And the reason also they're getting out of these bonds is because our country's been downgraded. We're no longer a AAA rated country anymore. We've been downgraded. Now, what's fascinating is I think more downgrades are to come. Now, there's no way we're AA, in my opinion. You put us down at B or C level. There's no way we can pay the debt back. So you're going to get more downgrades on these credit agencies. But a lot of these funds that are out there, they have to sell the bonds now. They cannot buy them anymore because they're not AAA rated. Their funds can only buy AAA rated bonds. And our country is not a AAA rated bond anymore. So they're going to be dumping these bonds on the market. Look, we don't have any buyers for them. So they're going to try to push the stable coin upon us, telling us that everybody get in the stable coin. Maybe they'll try to push that Bitcoin price up. Bitcoiners are desperate now. They want the government in there. The government's the last resource they got. They got the corporations, well, about 100 of them, right, to put all their money into these Bitcoin, right? They got all the suckers they could, all the people that bought them. You're going to see Bitcoin hit here. I keep thinking it's going to hit 115 before the pullback, but I don't know if it's going to get up to that level anymore. It might just have the pullback from here, and we'll go down to 90, maybe below 90 again, and they'll push it up one more time. Don't get me wrong, because when things start to drop, like we talked about the stock market, I'm wearing the red shirt because you're going to see red in the stock market this week and next week. That's going to be the pullback, right? And that's where they're going to start the printing press again. And the outlets for the printing press for the money is the bond market, the stock market, and the crypto markets, right? So they're the outlets. So they may push them up one more time. But the more they print, the fewer chances they have that this will continue to be sustainable, that it'll continue to work. Now, we did have some good news in the crypto markets, right? Okay, we had some good news in the crypto markets. You guys remember Sam Bankman-Fried, right? FTX, man, that was the hot company. Well, he fleeced everybody out of their money. But okay, they got Shaquille O'Neal, right? Shaquille O'Neal, he's He's ponying up $2 million. You see all these stars, they pumping the crypto, right? They're going on TV telling you to buy this stuff. And while now those lawsuits are coming for FTX, they're coming after these people. So they got Shaq, right? Shaquille O'Neal was on TV saying, put your money into crypto. Now, would you put your money into crypto just because some big guy told you to do it? I don't know. A lot of people did. But he had to cough up $2 million because he was part of the scheme, right? He was all part of it. Now, the other ones they're going after is Tom Brady, right? He's going to have to cough up some money. And Steph Curry, man, I love Steph Curry, my favorite player, right? Now, okay, so here's a story. He's in FTX, right? He's their spokesperson. And I mean, this is going to end up costing him millions of dollars, but he's running the ads because they're pumping it, right? That's what you do with Bitcoin. That's what you do with crypto. You got to pump it. No one would buy it in the right mind. So we're going to pump it. We're going to get your favorite stars out there. So they were all out there advertising, but now they got to cough up the money. But the funny story was Steph. All right. So Steph and Clay, right? I mean, they were known as the Splash Brothers on the Warriors, a Bay Area basketball team. They're the Splash Brothers. They were tight, right? So Steph's telling Clay, hey, look it, I'm doing the spokesperson for this company. You might want to throw some money in it. Well, Clay did, right? He threw $20 million in it, lost $20 million. Now, I should be really sad. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but Clay makes $25 million a year, so he didn't even lose 1 year's salary. He's going to be okay. But his buddy Steph, I mean, kind of hosed him, right? Hey, I'm the spokesperson. Put some money in. Clay did, lost it all, $20 million down the drain. Don't worry, Clay. Steph's got to put some millions in there. Maybe you'll get 10 cents on your dollar back, but that's good news for all those FTX crypto people, right? Be careful with that crypto stuff. A lot of scammers still out there. A lot of stuff going on. I don't think it's all that it's cracked up to be. That's just my take. My take, we're going to reset. We're going to reset into the gold market. Why are we going to reset in the gold market? We got to get some confidence back, right? Our currency has lost 99% of its purchasing power. Was at a dollar. Now it's the dollar's the new penny, right? I mean, that's what it's lost. 99% of its purchasing power wiped out since the Federal Reserve started. Why do we need the Fed? We really don't. Our country would be so much better off if we had stayed on the gold standard. You know what our infrastructure would look like? It would be pristine. Where does our money go instead? Well, just paying the debt, right? Paying the debt from all the money print. That's over $1 trillion a year, $1.2 trillion. You think houses would be as high as they are? No, they'd be about a third the cost they are. It's the only reason houses are up. You see the $15,000 house that now sells for $3 million, sold for $15,000, was built, now sells for $3 million. Same house. The house hasn't changed. What's changed is the money supply. Money supply has gone straight down, straight down, straight down, right? See, if you didn't print all the money, if you stayed on the gold standard, you wouldn't have this big bubble, right? You wouldn't have top 10% of the country owning 90% of the net worth, right? And the bottom 50%, they all have zero net worth. Why? Because the printing of money, it all inflated up to the rich, the wealthy, and the prices just escalated for the poor and the middle class, which is getting destroyed. So your houses would be affordable if we were still on the gold standard, but we're off of it, right? You can print as much money as you want. Now, what really makes me sick, now I got 4 friends there on my speed dial. I have 4 of them. And I don't know that many people. Number one, I don't have that many friends, but I have 4 of them that have jobs that live in their car. They have jobs and they live in their car. This has got to stop in America. You know why it happens like this? It's because we've been off the gold standard. When you get the reset, you're going to want the real money. You're going to want the gold in the reset. You're going to see silver explode. Protect yourself here. Look at silver, $36. I don't know what it's trading at today, but that's going to explode. Why? Because it's going to become money again. It's going to be in circulation again. It's what we're going to use to buy food with. It's what we're going to use to buy gas with. They're going to do a reset, right? And the reset is going to go back to the way it was, because the way it was worked. They destroyed us. They destroyed the population. Look, The Constitution was set up that the only money there can be is gold and silver. That's it. There's no other money. They took us off the Constitution and they tell us we're not even supposed to look at gold because that's out of the system, right? Stay in the system, buy their bonds. No, they destroyed us. They destroyed the country. It's very sad. 4 homeless guys on the speed dial. I talk to each one of them at least once a week. They're living in their cars. They work. They have jobs, real jobs. I mean, one works for Tesla, for crying out loud, but he can't live indoors here. They don't pay enough because the bills are too high. The inflation rolls every cost out there up higher and higher and higher. But mark my words, there's going to be a reset. Protect yourself now. Look at gold. You might think that's expensive at $3,300. I'm telling you, it's going to double, then it's going to double again. What's that going to put it at? It's going to put it at around $12,000. It's going to 4x from here, right? It's going to 2x. It's going to go to 6,000 before the Donald leaves office. Why? Because of the big, beautiful bill, which is really a big, ugly piece of, well, you know what. Anyways, it's going to pass, right? Because they're going to make it pass. And this is just going to start the printing press, going to send gold to the moon, going to go from 3,300 or over 6,000 before he gets out of office because he's a money printer. That's what he is. That's what he does. He prints the money. He had the record until Biden took it away from him. He's upset that Biden outspent him. Don't worry, man. He's going to blow that record away. He's going to print more money than Obama did in 8 years. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Protect yourself. Look at silver, still cheap. Silver still 36. Going to see it 10x. Yeah, it's going to be triple digits. That's 100, right? But it's not going to be the 1 front. It's going to be the 3 in front of it. Don't sell any of your silver until it has a 3 in front of the 2 zeros. Then you might start to see how the system's looking. But there's going to be a reset. They're going to have to because nobody's got confidence anymore in the currency that's out there. It's just getting destroyed. Going to go to zero. Going to go away. Anyways, I'm Tall Mike. You like this stuff? Give me a thumbs up. Punch that subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.